Autoloaders. They are one of the most dangerous class of vehicles in World of Tanks Blitz, because instead of storing their damage in high DPM single shot, they store their damage in a burst of lower DPM usually, but a much higher clip. So, for example, in front of us we have the T-57 Heavy. Now, surprisingly, this tank has good DPM at 2,700. But what's even more dangerous is the fact that this vehicle can deal 1,200 damage in 5 seconds. In fact, if you're running shell reload boost, which I am, you can even take that 30% shorter, make it around 3.5 seconds to deal 1,200 damage. That is faster than most tanks can aim in. It's kind of crazy. And, you know, you drive a vehicle like the 60 TP and you're like, oh wow, this thing's got 700 alpha with tungsten. Or you drive an E100 and it's got 680 damage per shot. And then you only pen 2 shells in a T-57 Heavy and you've dealt 800. I mean, yeah. Autoloaders, you don't think about it, but they are ridiculous. If you technically think about the damage per shot this vehicle deals, it's basically 1,200. There's just more steps in between to get it out. So we're going to see what we can do in our first game. And the major thing I wanted to talk about today is autoloaders still being the meta. I mean, we have not seen as many autoloaders in the matchmaker lately. And my guess and reasoning why is mostly down to the fact that Wargaming has buffed a lot of other tanks a few months back. They gave a lot of mediums more DPM, like the Leopard 1, the STB got better penetration, and while they did that, they nerfed the T-57 Heavy DPM a little bit, which obviously hurts the tank's capabilities, and they took away some of the vehicle's capabilities. So, autoloaders basically didn't get changed, while others did. And my guess is a lot of people say, oh, well, if the autoloaders are getting nerfed, I'm not going to play them anymore. That's kind of my reasoning. But I don't think autoloaders have really gotten nerfed. Unless you're that TVP driver. Then you're most definitely nerfed, just in the skill department. But there you go. That is, well, that's about 800 damage we got into our opponents. We also blocked a lot, but usually this vehicle, you're not going to block a lot of damage. That was just kind of lucky, to be completely real. I'm going to try and help out this Kron if I can. We have 8 more seconds left, and then I'm going to push right on up and get some big old bonks into his vehicle. So let's reload. 2, 1, and let's see. There's 1 shell into the enemy Yo. We're going to fire a standard shell into his vehicle, and we're going to get a shell into the Caro. What you just witnessed right there was 1,200 damage. 1,200! Just that quickly. Now, unfortunately, the Yo is going to clear my Kron. However, I don't really think it's that big of a deal, as we are going to reload in 5 more seconds, and we are going to hopefully absolutely clip something in front of us. We have the enemy Patton in front. There's 2 shells into his vehicle. Let's see if we can get some damage into the Yo as well. There you go. Nice shot. Unfortunately, it looks like we have possibly backed ourselves into a really bad position here, which I can't do much about. I'm just going to wiggle. Yeah, this is really, really bad. Alright, well, I'm going to chill right here, and we're going to see if I can get some damage into this Conway before I do end up dying. Conway missed. There's 1, there's 2, and there's 3. That right there was an absolutely monstrous chunk of damage dumped into that player, and now we simply back up, and we're still alive. This is why autoloaders are insane, because as I said, you trade DPM for clipping potential. And we were absolutely able to change the course of this battle by, okay, that made 0 sense. Let's try that again. There you go. And now we reload the clip. So we did 4,800 damage in this battle, which is a crazy amount when you think about it. And now in 8 more seconds, we might just be able to get a little bit more. We have 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and there is the waffle. We missed the first shell very sadly, and because of that, we don't get any damage out. But I really can't get mad. I mean, I think all the points that I talked about why autoloaders are insane still just immediately got pointed out. This is why, when a lot of people got bummed out the 57 Heavy lost a bit of DPM, I pointed out that it's still just as capable. I mean, That was an incredibly easy farm there. And we could have done even better if we just hadn't have played so aggressive there. But I did because I wanted to help out the Kron and get some big old damage chunks out. So 5,000 damage in our first battle. Now, we're going to make our way over to another autoloader. This time, it's going to be a light tank, the Boschation 25-ton. This vehicle currently features the most view range in the game, some of the most mobility in the game, great camouflage values, and a 1,050 damage clip, which also has shell reload boost. And again, we're going to see what this tank can do when you play it properly. Alrighty, here we are. This is a decent map, but ooh, they got a lot of cringers on their team. They have a Boschation E50M STB and a Sheridan and a Stritzvon. So their entire lineup is filled with vehicles that that can absolutely ruin my fun. We have an E3, a YAG, and a 60. So, I mean, we've got pretty good tanks as well, but it's really going to depend on how our team takes advantage of the medium side here, especially because they just have a flat better platoon than we do. Alright, well, first of all, I'm going to chill right in this bush. This is one of my favorite early game positions. Sometimes people like to go mid. I seriously could care less about holding mid. I think that really what you want to do is hold over here. 183 is detected. And if the 183 pokes that bush, we could almost hit him there. But what I'm thinking is that if we back up just a little bit, there you go. We shoot him in the track wheel. There's one, there's two, and there is three. Yep. Welcome to the life of the Boschation. Of course, the 183 has one singular hit point, which is honestly really annoying because that tank is just as dangerous as with 1 HP as it is with, you know, 1,000. All it needs to do is pen one shell. So that Boschation almost overpoked. I thought he was going to stay out in the open, but we weren't able to really do anything to him there. I saw a tree fall down off to the side. As of right now, there's not much to do in this engagement, but just wait. We got one shell into the Jagdpanzer, and we shoot a second shell. Unfortunately, it misses. I'm not going to put myself in a situation where that Jag is able to hit me. I just don't think that's an optimal idea. It's actually the worst idea I could do. So, we're going to aim it on the Jag. He actually shoots. I'm tempted to try and get behind the Jagdpanzer, but I also, yep, that is why. I do not see much gained in doing so when the entire enemy team is over there. Stritzvon gets bonked. We got the enemy E50 in the open. There's one shell to the rear of the E50M, and dead. Nice. Again, Autoloaders showing their true colors here. We were able to catch that E50, and what is he going to do? Nothing. Once we've won the medium side here, we've basically won the game, because their team, for some reason, in the STB, and as I said, the Batshed and mid, thought it was more important to go towards heavy side, which is just not the case. So we've been able to hold this quite well. The Jagdpanzer is going to get rushed, possibly. Looks like it almost. Okay, the Jag shot, which would lead me to believe that the Boschation might try and push up, but we've been able to force them off just by sitting here, which is really, really important. Okay, so we're going to chill right in this position, and I'm going to get, hopefully, behind the enemy Boschation. Dude's already lost half of his health, which is not what he wants. And now we're going to push right up here. We're going to shoot him in the trap wheel once, we're going to shoot him in the trap wheel twice, and we're going to finish him off. There you go. That is the Boschation, and that is why it is so dang good. Again, we reload. We've got 8 more seconds left. The Sheridan is obviously going to try and bail, but because we are in a light tank that is equally as fast, I don't really think the Sheridan has much of an option on where he's going to go. We got 1 shell into his vehicle. We got 2 shells in. He's dead, and all that's left is the enemy STB. Now, the STB will probably kill our Sheridan, unless I'm able to bonk him myself. Let's see, is the Sheridan going to die or not? Well, we got the shell out, so I'm actually quite happy with this result. There you go. That is the Boschation, and that's how you take advantage of your opponents. It's absolutely fantastic. Again, Autoloaders are still king, and I believe that they will kind of always be king. I don't get how you're supposed to counter a vehicle when it can literally outspot you, deal more damage than you in a faster amount of time, drive away, reload, and come back in 15 seconds. That is why we were able to take advantage of our opponents so easily there. I mean, that Boschation on the enemy team, he's a good player, 60%, but he did not use the tank's capabilities to the maximum. Instead of trying to get early spots on the medium flank and getting shells into their opponents. He went mid in a tank that doesn't have gun depression or turret armor, which really did nothing. And then he tried flanking, but we had a Yag, and I knew they were going to flank, so I covered the Yag, and they basically boxed themselves out of the entire map, the whole battle. And while that was going on, our team was able to win medium flank, kill all the tanks that were on medium side, and then we killed the lights after. It was very easy to do so. Not every game's going to be like that, but when you are able to get in a situation where you can use this tank's clip, you can use the mobility and outspot your opponents, especially getting that 183 cleared early game is absolutely important. So let me know what you guys think about this vehicle. I think it's incredible, and I think almost all the autoloaders are still very, very good. The AMX 50B is crazy after it got its buff on the accuracy. The Kron is absolutely amazing. I'm trying to think if I'm missing any others. The TVP's great, obviously. Caro is still absolutely insane. And the Minnow is the highest win rate tank in Tier 10. So yeah, I think autoloaders are still dominating the meta. And while I think you can do well in non-autoloaders, I just think it's a lot easier to get out damage and wins if you drive vehicles like the T-57. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.